Hello there. It's been a while. Usually when people get back onto their platform after a while of absence, they go into some long-winded backstory of explaining why they were gone and what they were up to, but in reality, the details aren't that interesting. The gist of it is that I was sidetracked by a bunch of other things in my life and then school. So there you go. I'm sorry for the absence, but I'm back now. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So the background of this video is that I was looking through my channel's content, and besides the obvious lack of uploads in general, I was also not uploading enough of a specific type of video. And what I'm referring to specifically is filmmaking. So if you've been following the channel, you'll know that my channel mainly focuses on two things: filmmaking and self-improvement, or as I like to put it in my channel motto, eye candy and soul food. So I realized that I was putting out a bunch of self-improvement content, aka soul food, but I wasn't putting out enough filmmaking content. In other words, eye candy. So in trying to fix that balance, I was sort of looking for different things to shoot, different ideas to experiment with, and then I found something. So last year I bought these earbuds from Nothing. Yes, that's their name. And if you're familiar, if you follow the tech news and tech world, you will have heard a lot about these because they generated a lot of hype. I'm not going to get into the details of how good they are or if they're worth it or whatever. That is going to be an entirely separate video by itself. But I wanted to focus more on the aesthetics, because love them or hate them, these earbuds are truly one of a kind when it comes to their looks. They just have something so retro yet futuristic about them that I absolutely love, and that a lot of reviewers loved as well. And they're very clearly designed to be eye-catching. And since they look so unique and different from other earbuds on the market, I thought it would be fitting to make a video on them. And that's what this video is. It's an unofficial advertisement campaign for Nothing. Pun very much intended. So without further ado, let's get into how I made it. Hopefully I don't run into any legal trouble. So to start, I went to Nothing's website to pull some inspiration. Obviously the goal wasn't to recreate their aesthetic or their visuals one for one, but I just wanted to know what kind of aesthetic or what kind of vibe I was trying to emulate. Once that was done, then I took some stills to serve as a storyboard. In the end, I didn't really use the stills for a storyboard, but instead I used it more as an inspiration template and to sort of just help me visualize what frames were possible. Once that previous stage was done, then I could get into actually shooting the video. The setup was pretty simple. I just wanted a black backdrop, just like Nothing's marketing material. So to do that, I just set up some cardboard to hold up some black shirts, and that effectively served as a poor man's version of backdrop paper. Next, I had to set up the lighting. The lighting in my basement was pretty trash, but fortunately I had my own lights. And after some basic setup, I was able to turn the lighting from this to something like this. Just a quick note about the lighting. So I initially used just one light, but I didn't like how harsh the lighting looked since it was only coming in from one angle. So in order to smooth the lighting out to get a much more soft, even look, I had to use two. The only problem is that I only have one proper camera light. The second light that I used was just an ordinary desk lamp, which was fine. It did even out the lighting a lot better, but the only problem was that I couldn't set it to the right color temperature. So with my camera light, I can actually set the exact temperature to within 100 Kelvin. But on my desk lamp, since it's obviously not professional gear, even the whitest setting on my desk lamp still wasn't properly white. If I had two video lights, I would have just set them both up, plugged in temperature to each, and be done. Not a big deal. It was easily fixable with just some basic color grading, and I was gonna grade it anyway, but I just felt like it was worth mentioning. The shooting process was fairly simple. I just used some skewers to hold up the earbuds and I masked everything out in post. And I mostly just freestyled the whole process. Once the shooting was done, I moved on to my favorite step in all of my videos, and that was editing. I mostly freestyled the editing process, just like I did with much of this entire video. I didn't have a story or specific transitions in mind, I just cut together what felt natural. The editing itself was also fairly simple. There wasn't a lot going on, just a bunch of masking, some basic color grading, and a lot of motion effects. And yeah, that was it. The whole process wasn't complicated, it was just very time consuming. But in reality, I could probably squeeze the entire contents of this video into like a single TikTok or YouTube short. But since I'm on YouTube, I will gladly milk it for watch time. One last thing I want to mention before showing you the final product. The music in the edit was provided by my brother. I'm gonna leave his SoundCloud and his YouTube links in the description. He also did the music for my last fake advertisement, which if you haven't seen the video for that, you should probably go and check it out. But yeah, that's the gist of it. And without further ado, here's the final product. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. How I made an unofficial ad for Nothing, the tech brand. I actually made this video all the way back in March of this year, and the reason why it's taken so long to come out isn't because it actually took that long to produce. I think between shooting the footage and actually getting 80% of the edit done, it was like 3 days. As you may have noticed, it's not a very long video. It's only like 30 seconds. The reason why it took so long is because, well, life in general, and then school, and then numerous production delays. My laptop, which I was using to edit, was out of commission for 2 weeks straight because I got water in it. It took me about a week after I discovered that it wouldn't turn on to actually take it to the shop. And then a week after that is when I picked it up from the shop. So that combined with a bunch of other things, just life in general, my mental health, things like that, I'm glad to finally just have it done. It's not perfect, even by the longest stretch of the word, but at least when it comes to creative projects, I'm a firm believer in the saying, better finished than perfect. Obviously, this doesn't apply to everything, but when it comes to creative endeavors such as this one, I think it's important to really just allow yourself that space to make mistakes and to allow yourself that flexibility to realize that, okay, not everything is gonna pan out exactly like you wanted it to. And finally freeing myself of that ideal of what I would consider the perfect edit, I think that's what allowed me to finally just get this out. I realized, you know what, it's better to just have it out there rather than keep it to myself because of some minor things that I didn't like. In reality, there's a bunch of things that I wish I could go back and change. There's numerous details that I still see looking at the final edit and I'm like, yeah, no, that wasn't it. But overall, I can be satisfied with the fact that at the very least, it's done. You know, it's done and I can be proud of myself for putting it together and realizing it. You know, this was just an idea in my head several months ago and now it's finally on screen. And yeah, overall, I had a lot of fun shooting this. It helps that these are super photogenic. I think They're possibly the greatest looking earbuds on the market right now. I'm not even joking. Maybe they're not up to par with like AirPods Pros, but at least in terms of looks, these are far more striking than anything else, and I'm quite happy to own them. This is very unlikely, but hopefully this makes it to the eyes of the people at Nothing. You know, maybe some executives, maybe even Carl Pei himself, the founder of Nothing. It wouldn't be very flattering, to be perfectly honest. I'm pretty sure that Nothing's marketing department could put together something 100 times better than this, but it would still be cool if they caught wind of this. And now that the Nothing phone is out, you know, maybe send me a phone and I can do a video on that. Again, unlikely, but you know, worth a shot. So Nothing, Mr. Pay, if you want to send me a free Nothing phone, that would be great. All right, jokes aside, I had a lot of fun shooting this, and I want to thank you all very much for watching. It was a needlessly long process to make this video. Honestly, like, looking back, I really should have just got it done sooner, but it doesn't matter. It's done now, and I'm glad it's out. And yeah, I'm looking forward to shooting more projects, shooting more content, be that self-improvement or filmmaking. If any of you have any future video ideas or suggestions that you want me to make, feel free to leave them in the comments below. You can also connect with me on Instagram via DMs or on Twitter. It's been a while, but in summary, I'm glad to be back. So with that all being said, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.